Mic check, mic check. Testing, test. I'm kidding. I already know this shit works. What up, kids? Welcome to another episode of the Qdecent podcast. I'm wearing my Papa John's shirt even though I don't work here anymore. Fuck it. Everybody keeps the old shirts from their jobs that they don't work at anymore, don't they? I work out in this shirt sometimes because I can get it sweaty because I don't have to fucking wear it to work the next day. Even though when I do wear it to work, I get sweaty in it. Dude, these shirts are nice though. I think they're designed for getting sweaty in because, they don't really show pit stains. They're comfy. I fucking can rub the sweat in and it feels good. I don't know. Things are good, man. I walked outside today and someone said, "Oh, you still working at Papa John's?" And I said, "Nope." And they're like, "Oh, you're wearing the shirt." And I said, "Oh, well, you could wear a shirt with a swastika on it and I wouldn't think that you work for Hitler." I didn't actually say that, but fuck it, man. Today's episode is brought to you by Frisbee Golf, the only sport where you actually look weird if you're not drinking while you're playing. Yeah, bro, I played like 36 holes of Frisbee Golf recently, and that was really lit. Shout out to Chris and Emily and Joey Pryor, shouts out, and some other people. This one kid, I think his name was... oh fuck, what was it? Josh or I don't know. They all had white boy names. I played with like these 6 guys, and this one dude who was pretty cool he had a hat on, and he saw my shirt. It was an office shirt, so it said it was like a Schrute Farms bed and breakfast shirt. I think I've worn it on the show before actually. Anyway, the guy saw it and he came up to me between holes, and he was like, "Yo, you a fan of The Office?" And I said, "Fuck yeah, man, I love this shit." And he said, "I met Stanley." I was like, "Oh shit, my boy Leslie David Baker." He's like, "Yeah," and he busted out the picture on his phone of him and Stanley at the Cedar Rapids airport at 5 in the morning. I was like, "That is so cool." And his hair was all not, it was longer and just like kind of everywhere. Like he looked like a fucking hippie. It was pretty neat. He looked like he was from Jamaica almost. Like he just didn't give a fuck. He was wearing a Hawaiian, I think. And yeah, dude. I mean, I see pictures on Reddit all the time of, oh, I met Oscar at the fucking Democratic primary, or I met, or I met Angela, or I met fucking Kevin. Yeah, supposedly he and Kevin. So Brian Baumgartner and Leslie David Baker were in Iowa City, which is where I'm from, where I grew up, doing like a stand-up or like some comedy show. And my boy, I'm just gonna say for the sake of argument that his name was Josh. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Fuck, what was it? Brian? Fucking. Maybe what's a really white guy name? Maybe like Spencer? No, it wasn't Spencer. It was like a one syllable thing. Bryce, that's a white kid name. Cole. I don't know. Let's say his name's Josh. He was wearing a hat. You know who you are. And not that you're watching this. He was doing a debate competition, and he had to get up at 4 a.m., right, to go to the airport. And so he and his friends were like, "Fuck sleeping, let's just do Molly and stay up all night." And so he was rolling on Molly at the airport, and he saw Stanley. Took a picture with him, so that was pretty cool. And my boy Joey, I found out he's a fan of some of the same podcasts that I listen to, and so that was pretty cool. And he's gonna be up in Minnesota soon, I believe. So we're gonna stay in touch. And that was pretty cool. Dude, you know what? Fuck shit that says it's gluten-free when it would have been gluten-free anyway. Like, oh, get this gluten-free steak. Check out these gluten-free tomatoes, man. Gluten-free. Soy-free tomatoes. Fucking, oh, you want to buy maybe a dozen roses? They're gluten-free. Speaking of plants, As you can see, I got a beautiful plant right here from actually a fan of the show. Is the same gentleman who suggested I change the formatting of the title. I put the title of the episode first now, and then after that a hyphen, and then it says Qdecent podcast number whatever. Before I did it in a fucked way, and he pointed it out to me and fixed it. So shout out to Ben. He's a fan of the show, and he's making the show better too. So maybe I should hire him on. We're hoping to have him on the show soon. I'm really looking forward to that. But I keep telling people, you got to come here if you want to be on the show. I got a lot of friends back in Iowa City, and they're like, yeah, I want to be on your show. And I'm like, okay, come to the studio. Come to Qdecent Studios. Come to Qdecent Bedrooms, because this is where I record, man. This is where I got the sign. This is where I got the plant. We don't know what it's called. But yeah, man, I don't know. What do you guys think of all this TikTok stuff? We're going to shut down TikTok? I think it's a little ridiculous, man. Sure, China's stealing our info. Sure, I believe you. But you know who else is stealing our info? America, bro. America is stealing our info. Are we going to ever get mad about that? No. Because America is America. The land of the free. The home of the fucking information stealers. Even everywhere, bro. Anytime that you give somebody your social, they're fucking selling it to somebody. Everybody, if they want to get into your text, they can. If they want to get into your bank, they can. Most people are fucking boring anyway. I share my weekly thoughts on it on YouTube, so... And I mean, yeah, on one hand, it's not about whether or not you're doing anything wrong that you have to worry. It's just kind of an invasion of privacy. But dude, it's happening. The internet is advancing and the laws around it are not. And so why are we... Obviously the whole cancel TikTok thing is just like a whole... It's just something to distract us more, man. I don't care if you have my info. I've already put the Face ID on my phone, bro. It's too late for me. And it's too late for you too, you know? So just, if you like TikTok, go on TikTok. If you live in India, I'm sorry. If America bans TikTok, I'll go with that too, but I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. And I say the same thing about the second stimulus check. And I said the same thing about the first stimulus check. As soon as my friend said at work, I was like, oh, you hear about the second stimulus check? We're getting a second stimulus check? I was like, really? Bullshit. And she was like, no, it's confirmed. By whom? Dude, I don't know, man. You should never believe in anything until you see it. It's kind of a good policy. It's kind of my policy. Hey, yeah, man, I'm coming over. Okay, I'll believe you when you're here. Said the drug buyer to the drug dealer. Anyway, guys, what do I have for you today? Yeah, you can't hide from China, man. You can't hide from China. You can't hide from Donnie J. You can't hide from yourself. Or you shouldn't. You can, but you shouldn't. You can't hide from the IRS. You can't hide from the FBI or the CIA. You can't hide from Mother Earth. What else can't you hide from? You can't hide from the Dude, I have these zits all in my face on this side. Right underneath my jaw. I can't hide from those, bro. I want to touch my face, man. It's not that I want to morally, but I just like, there's something in me that wants to touch my face. And when I do that, it gives me acne, bro. And then when I touch it again and I feel the acne and it hurts, bro, I can't hide from that shit. You can't hide from your addictions. People can't hide from their addiction to alcohol, sugar, marijuana, cigarettes, bro. Cigarette smokers, they smoke cigarettes. They can't fucking hide from that. This really has nothing to do with TikTok or privacy or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, it feels good to not need to hide. Feels good. Anyway, guys, there's this group that I really like, the Underachievers. So couple of rappers. Really into these guys. I love their music. I used to listen to it a lot, and it would get me motivated to. Well, actually, you know what? Back in the day when I would listen to this music, even though a lot of it is motivational, or they tell you to get your fucking ass up and do shit. Basically, they tell you to not be like everybody else. I don't know what their kind of overarching message is, that you can and you should get out there and do amazing things and achieve. And so it's ironic their names are the Underachievers, but these guys are achievers. I was listening to their music the other day, and they use the N word a lot, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, should I? I know it's bad for a white person, or anybody really, to justify using that word just because it's in a song. And I used to do that back in the day. I used to sing these songs out loud in front of people, in front of black people too. And I would, I'm just singing a song, man. And I usually wouldn't, it wasn't really like, oh, somebody got mad at me. Oh, hey man, you can't say that. And now I'm like, oh, it's just in a song. That never happened. But in my head, I was justifying it. Oh, I'm just singing a song I like. And now that there's a lot more racial tension. I mean, there's always been racial tension, but there's a lot right now, obviously. 2020, July 2020, man, there's a lot of racial tension in this country, and Black Lives Matter is a super important movement. And people like me shouldn't be saying the N-word. But is it cool for me to listen to other people say it? I mean, when they wrote this music, it was a few years ago. It was a while back. But they say it a lot, man. And they use it positively and negatively. But that's not fucking what I like about the music. But now, it's just like now, when I bring it back into my daily life, it's like I notice it more now. Just because everything going on. And I don't know, man. I don't feel bad for listening to it. But should I? Nah, I don't think I should. As long as I'm not saying it, I think I can listen to that shit. It gets me motivated to go to work out. Speaking of working out, I need to get on my bike, man. I have a bicycle, and the brakes are sticking, and I don't know how to fix it. But maybe I'll take it to a shop, because the trails I run on, they're biking trails. They're not running trails, and people bike on them a lot. Every time I'm doing my run, somebody says, on your left, and they bike past me because I run on the right side, because this is America. And I would like to get out there on my bike. Dude, I want to get one of those like pull behinds on my bike that I can put my kid in, and we can bike around, and he can look at shit while I bike. And or a running stroller, a jogging stroller would be cool too. It's probably expensive though. Anyway, back to the Underachievers. They have this line that I really want to figure out. He says something, respect the God on top me. Go kamikaze, misunderstood like fucking Nazis. What does he mean, man? The way I see it, there's two options. There's two possibilities. Either he means that the Nazis were right and that they were misunderstood, which wouldn't be super cool, or that they mean misunderstood like fucking Nazis. They mean like what was the other option, man? There was so the Nazis were misunderstood, or we misunderstood I got it. Or the Nazis misunderstood what was the right thing to do. But that seems way less likely. It really seems like he's saying, I don't know, I can't say what it seems like he's saying. But I would just like to know. Go kamikaze, misunderstood like fucking Nazis. And they are all about like getting to the top, right? And being like, he calls himself a god a lot. He says that everybody has a god inside of him. Like why you You's a fucking living God. Why you bowing down to Christ is one of their lines. Like anybody can be a god, and only and like the best people should get to the top or whatever. And I guess that's kind of what Hitler thought. The Nazis' kind of idea was that, oh, the white people, the Aryan people are the best, and we should kill everybody else. Obviously, that's not true. I shouldn't have to say that, but I'm talking about it. Is that what you're saying, Issa? Is that what you're saying? Hit me back. Hit me up. Let me know. I'm curious. There's another line where the other guy, AK, he says, "Young intellect with fear gone, I take a bear on." I can't tell if he's saying he's going to take a bear on or a beer. I'm going to look it up really quick. What's the lyrics? Young intellect with fear gone, I take a bear on. Okay, here we go. Elevated Mafia. Yeah, okay. Huron from here on, if not, you're here wrong. Young intellect with fear gone, I'll take a bear on. He's gonna take a bear on? Maybe it just means he's so fucking badass he could take a bear on. Like that TikTok. If you see me fighting a bear, help the bear. I guess it's not a TikTok, it's a song, but I've seen it on TikTok. Yeah, man. I wonder if this other song... What is the song? Maybe Rap Genius has, like, a explanation for it. What was it? Go... I think it was in Leopard Shepherd. Oh, come on. Leopard Shepherd. Okay. Bear with me, guys. Here it is. Oh, there is an explanation for it. We're going to read this. Okay, here we go, guys. At first, this line sounds like a horrifying defense of the Nazis. Okay, sure. They thought what they were doing was right. That doesn't stop it being monstrously evil. They were not misunderstood. Issa tried to defend this line on his Tumblr. Here's his quote. "Can we all agree that this life is really based on perspectives when it comes to reasoning what is right and wrong? How many people do not like pot, psychedelics, new age stuff, etc., things prevalent in our generation, and what would we draw as our defense? We're misunderstood, correct? So is it not safe to say, though we all know it was morally wrong by human standards, that technically the Nazis were misunderstood from their perspective? I am in no way, shape, or form an advocate for anything that regime stood for, but I can find some, and a very small, middle ground in our movement, and that is one thing. We are both misunderstood." Shit, okay. I mean, when you're a rapper, man, you gotta come up with a lot of words. You're gonna come up with a lot of lyrics, a lot of ideas. There's a lot of content to each rap song. And a rap album, how many fucking words are in the Underachiever's latest album? A lot, dude. Gotta come up with something, man. And even if it's like a little bit of, it's a one idea you had, maybe you didn't, I don't know, I rep that he's defending that. I rep that. Shouts out to Issa, man. You don't have to hit me up anymore, like you were gonna. Oh man, so the other day, a good friend of mine posted, well, she was they were a good friend back in the day, posted, is anybody else worried about Britney Spears? And I just happened to have been thinking about how I don't really need to be worried about Britney Spears. And here's, first I saw the little thing, it was like just a picture of her live. And then somebody commented, hey, in your next video, if you need help, wear a yellow shirt in your next video. And then there's a screenshot right beside of her wearing a yellow shirt in the next video. So, and I really have not read into this, but one of the people commented on my friend's status, "I'm really worried. She's literally being held hostage in front of our eyes. Right in front of our eyes." And so I don't really know the ins and outs of what's going on with that or whether or not it's true. And if it is true, shit, that's terrible. Um, and so when I said this, I was just kind of thinking mostly about her mental deterioration. She's obviously got some mental illness going on, as lots of people do. It's pretty blatantly clear. Everybody's known for years. Britney's going crazy a little bit, or a lot. I don't know. I really don't keep up on it. But here's what I think. Whether or not she's got problems, I'm not gonna be, it's not gonna be helpful for me to be concerned. I won't be able to help her. In terms of mental illness, somebody can help you. You also have to want to help yourself, I think, to get out of that. A lot of, some mental illness you can literally help yourself out of. Others you need help from a professional or maybe medicine. But I'm not a professional. And so me worrying about her is not going to do anything. That's kind of how I feel. And I was just thinking about that, and then I saw the status, so I commented. Of course, my dumbass, I commented. I said, no, not really. And I don't think it's really the public's responsibility to worry about her. I mean, I hope somebody close to her is worried. And then I got the comment back, and they said, have you heard what's going on? And then I remembered the whole thing about, oh, maybe she's being held hostage. I really don't know what's going on with that. I kind of want to look into it. Britney Spears hostage. TMZ. Can we trust TMZ, kids? This article is called Britney Spears Not Being Held Hostage, ... despite hashtag Free Britney protests. The Free Britney movement has reemerged in a big way, with lots of people spinning conspiracy theories that she's being held against her will, but they got the story wrong. Folks on social media have been alarmed by Britney Spears posting a gaggle of dance and fashion show videos. They're odd, to say the least. She's dancing, pacing back and forth, and looking not quite put together. There's some tweets. Wear black if you need help. Wear pink if you're in trouble. She wore pink shirts and black polka dots in a dance video, and that's all she wrote. She also crossed her arms. Okay, blah, blah. They're suggesting her conservatorship led by Britney's dad. Jamie was holding her against her will. Here's the reality. We've reported for the last 2 years Britney is struggling. Her meds stopped working and the doctors were having trouble finding the right combo. Sources with direct knowledge tell us she's not been easy to deal with. She sometimes complains she wants more freedom. Short story. The short story is she hasn't been especially stable managing her mental illness. There's collateral damage in all of this. Kevin Federline has had their 2 kids, considerably more than Britney, and it all relates back to her mental state. It really sounds... Well, okay. I don't know shit about this. But, even if I did, I'm not going to be able to help you, Britney. I'm just not. So I'm not worried. But I got a couple dislikes on my comments. And then I commented again and said, yeah, maybe I don't know anything about this. Maybe I shouldn't have commented. I guess that status was for people who were worried. And I should have known that. But it's cool, dude. I think that everybody is responsible for themselves. Some people need help from others. But you have to, if you're going to really get help, you have to want to get help. Nobody can control you 100%. And that's kind of just how I feel. Oh, man. I recently had a visit with my son, and that was incredibly fulfilling and hard. To be responsible for a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old. And those aren't separate kids. That's just one kid at multiple ages that I'm describing. You gotta follow them around everywhere. You gotta pick them up a lot if they hurt themselves. You gotta comfort them. You gotta put them to bed when they don't want to go to bed. You gotta brush their teeth for them. You gotta clean their shit. It's a lot. It's a lot, man. And it feels so fucking good to do it all. But it's scary, too. It's fucking... So as I've talked about before, I'm working on getting custody, and just to go and do a visit where I had him overnight, and luckily enough, I was lucky enough to stay at my mom's house, so I got a little bit of help. There was people around. Uh, Tegan's cousin was there helping me out a little bit. She's 8, and she's got a little 3-year-old brother, so she knows what's up. Um, but to be right in it, obviously I knew it was going to be very hard, but to be right in it and then to know that, oh my gosh, soon this is going to be my reality all the time. That's a scary thought. It's fucking exciting scary. Like I'm getting butterflies right now. But wow. I gotta really be ready, man. And I am ready. Well, maybe I'm not, but I'm as ready as I'm gonna be. I'm more ready than some people are. Um, I'm gonna do this shit, man. Shouts out to my boy. If you're watching this when you're 18, dude, I love you, man. I love you, and I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna make you brush your teeth. He likes to brush his teeth right now, which is really cool. I remember we were watching The Meg with his cousin and my parents, and basically he was getting difficult. He was getting tired. He was running around being difficult. And then I remembered from the video chats, oh my gosh, he likes to brush his teeth. So I said, hey Tegan, do you want to brush your teeth? And he said, yes. Or he said, yeah, I want to brush my teeth. Yeah. He got excited. He stopped misbehaving instantly. And wow, dude. He likes to brush his teeth. That's pretty neat. Yeah, that's all. And one time he turned down a cookie because he wanted watermelon instead. And if my son always likes to brush his teeth and he'll always turn down a cookie for watermelon, that's all I could have ever asked for, man. I'm happy. I'm happy, man. The most important things for me that I want to do in parenting, it's probably overcorrecting, but the most important things are, I don't want him to get addicted to sugar. I don't want him to not brush his teeth, because I got addicted to sugar and I never wanted to brush my teeth as a child. And what else is there? I don't know. I want him to be, I don't know where I was going with that. Those are 2 things though. Clean teeth and minimal sugar. My brother Angus has always not been a huge sweets guy. He never liked cake or anything, and that's that. So I keep telling him, you gotta turn out like your Uncle Angus, so you don't really like sugar that much. That would just be the dream, man. Because I feel like a lot of people get addicted to sugar and they can't stop eating it. And it's probably more likely than not going to be that way for people. I feel like you're lucky if you happen to not like sugar that much. Here's hoping, guys. Oh, man, I stopped playing Anarchy Online, which used to be my life, man. And this podcast has kind of replaced it. Back when I was younger, my stepdad showed me this video game. It was the MMORPG of the year, 2001. And he was really into it. She showed it to me and Angus, and we played it for hours and hours and hours. And it got to the point where they had to shut off the internet at certain times so we wouldn't be constantly playing it, and we would go outside and do things. And they brought it back last year. The new server, RubyCa 2019, and they brought it back, and it's still going strong. And I was into it, man. I bought a gaming laptop. Well, I didn't buy it. I asked my dad to buy it for me, shouts out. And he did. And I fucking played that shit, and I got to end game, man. Never got to end game before. Had a bunch of different characters in it, and had like a little online community of friends that we would all get on. We would try to get stuff done. But it's one of those games where it consumes your whole kind of life. Consumes everything that you do, like every free moment. if you want to get far. And it's not like it's not like say Fortnite or Call of Duty where you gotta play it all the time to maintain your skill. It's a slow pace. You gotta slowly gain knowledge and slowly work on quests and tasks and get further and further. And I suppose you could play it, just do like daily missions every day and play it. But I was letting it control my life. It's addictive, I think, to walk around in a game and be in another world, and kind of separates you from your real life. And that was part of the appeal. And I always knew I wanted to do this podcast, or like for probably a year before I did it. I knew I wanted to do a podcast. But I was not making any progress towards that goal. Toward that goal. I don't know which one is correct. I was just playing Anarchy with all my free time. And the more I wanted to go see a comedy show or start doing the podcast, that time got eaten up by Anarchy. And then one day I was like, okay, enough is enough. I'm going to set up the phone and go. I'm going to do a podcast. I bought a tripod and I just started talking, and it was practice, And as soon as I got the ball rolling, I totally lost interest in Anarchy, which is super sad, but it's also cool. Because I realized that game, I was definitely just using it as a, what do you call it, like a placeholder for doing what I really wanted to be doing with my life. Which is, I've always thought that I had something to say. And whether or not it's interesting, or whether or not it's funny, or whether or not it's valuable, I've always felt like I had something to say. And a lot of people, and I've seen other people putting all their shit out there, and it's bullshit. All their thoughts out there, and it's not interesting, and it's not funny at all. And I was like, why do I have to be listening to you right now? Why can't I be the one that you're listening to? And so I definitely think that I'm doing what I want to do with this. I think this is good. And that just made me lose the interest. Anarchy wasn't holding me back, but I was willfully holding myself back and just putting off my dream, I guess. And it's not like a whole life dream. I feel weird calling it my dream. It's just kind of something I do. But I feel good. And I miss Anarchy, so sometimes I'll hop on and see the old group of people that's still playing. And shouts out to my boy Reno. I know sometimes he falls asleep to this podcast, even though he hates podcasts, so maybe he'll see this. Probably not. We're 30 minutes in. Man. Yeah, I took one mulligan when I was playing Frisbee golf. I definitely embarrassed myself a few times, but then everybody else did too, so it's cool. Sometimes you gotta take a mulligan. Wish you could just take a mulligan on life, man. That would be cool. As soon as I fucking got addicted to shooting up meth, I should have just taken a mulligan on my life, man. Start over really quick. Learn, remember what I did wrong on the last hole. That would be nice. Another thing we always used to say back when we were playing Anarchy was, if you mess up a character, say you're going to make a character that's level locked at level 60, and then you accidentally leveled it to 61, what you have to do is re-roll. When you make a character, you roll it. I don't know why or where that came from. But sometimes you have to re-roll. And so a joke we always used to say is, man, you should just re-roll your whole life. And I just need to take a mulligan on my life. No, I don't. I'm happy where I am. But some people, fuck. Yeah, and when I was playing, I was with an old friend. Actually, this girl, Emily, and she used to date one of my best friend, or probably my best friend. At least back in the day, he was my best friend. It's hard to say if you have a best friend now. I think a best friend is something that is for kids. I don't think adults should have best friends. You just have, friends. You're all good friends. I love all my friends equally. But back in the day, my best friend was dating Emily, And Emily, I don't know, we didn't have our own kind of relationship because we would only hang out when we were with my friend. I don't know if I should talk about this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Um, when we got back together, Emily and I, she said, "Oh my gosh, this is so great. I always wanted to be closer friends with you, but um, my boyfriend wouldn't let me because I don't know, maybe he was jealous or something. Not that obviously I was never really putting it out there that I was interested in being romantic with her, and she knew that, and I knew that, but the boyfriend didn't want her hanging out with other guys, and that's a thing that young people do. I see it all the time. Young, insecure people dating, they don't want to lose their partner. When you're young, you're really in love, man. You'll do crazy things when you're in love and you're young. So deep, man. It's like I was so deeply in love with a couple of people back in the day, and I remember that feeling, and so I wouldn't have wanted that either. I get it. But basically, she was like, yeah, it's wild that it's so cool that I'm glad that we can be friends now because I definitely always wanted to be more friends with you back then, and I didn't because of who I was dating. And another part of that was, or just not that, it was really nice to reunite. She's great. Shout out to Emily. And um, when I first started to do, this is kind of a separate subject. When I first kind of came out, I guess, as being not a boy anymore, at the time, I wanted to be a woman. I was like gonna be a lady now, and I changed my name to Emma, and I put up pictures on social media of me and wearing girl clothes and makeup and all that, right? And so a lot of people, there's an upside for sure to coming out like as gay or as trans or whatever on social media because you don't have to do it in person. And that's great, and I loved it. And I never thought that I was gonna ever not be that again. I thought I would just be a woman forever now. And I don't know if I am even. Well, besides that, I need to get to my point, man, which is that for multiple people, this happened for Emily and for multiple people, they saw that once and they said, oh, okay, Emmett is now Emma. Man is now woman. Boy is now girl. I get it. I accept it. Great. It's fine. And now that's who I am to them. Even if we're not, friends still. We don't communicate every day. So they get that image in their head, and then that's it. And that's what happened here with Emily. And so she was prepared to see Emma. Even though I've been going by Emmett, I ditched the Emma thing a while back. Social fucking stigmas, whatever. It got weird. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I hate it when people are like, oh, I mean, he, I mean, she, I mean, what do you want me to call you? What makes you comfortable? I fucking got sick of hearing, I got sick of people being weird around me, so I stopped doing that. And Emily didn't know that that was the case. So she's expecting to see Emma, the girl, the fucking girly girl. And she was ready to call me that and use feminine pronouns, female pronouns. She told her boyfriend that as well and all that. And so that was it was kind of interesting to get back together with her, and then she could see that I was kind of just being who I was. I didn't, I hadn't started any hormone treatments. I'm just doing me, feeling how I feel comfortable. And then she said to me at one point, it's so weird that I see you more as a girl now than a boy, even though I haven't been, publicly or even in my personal life been being a girl, if that's a thing. I don't know how you put that. She had that picture from way back and when I did it at first. And so I don't know where I was even going with this, man. But oh yeah, I do remember. At one point she was like, "Can I do your makeup?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." And she got super excited. and she busted out all her high quality makeup, right? And she did my eyes. She put eyeshadow on me, and then glitter and fucking eyeliner, foundation, blush, the whole bit. I mean, it wasn't like a. Actually, it was pretty. It was a pretty full face of makeup, you know. And it looked fucking good, you know. Even though I had a little bit of a mustache and beard, like I do now. And it was fun, but it took a long time, right? First of all, it took a while. Emily's really into makeup. She loves that shit. So she had all the fancy shit. She took her time. Everything was good. And then later I wanted to take it off. And so I said, do you have makeup wipes? And she hooked me up with the basic brand, whatever, big bag of makeup wipes. And holy fuck, man, it is hard to get makeup off. It takes a while. I was in the bathroom for like 10 minutes scrubbing the shit off my face, man. And I remember being in there and thinking, there's no way I could do this every day. Part of why I stopped being a woman is because, or like publicly, maybe presenting myself as a classic society, whatever, female. Language is fucked these days. Part of it was because it was a lot of work to do the makeup and to do the shaving and to do the just like regular maintenance that a lot of women are, or at least think they're expected to do. It was hard work. Being a woman in today's world is hard. You got to get up way earlier before you go to work to do your makeup, and then you got to wash it all off when you get back, and it takes a lot of time. And I was just like, wow. This is fun, but I'm glad I was into this for a little while, but there's no way I'm going to keep doing this every day. And I'm glad I fucking aren't doing it now. It just takes up so much time, man. But Emily does the makeup because she loves it. And if you love it, you should do it because it's a fucking great thing. It's a great thing to do what you love, man. But I don't love wearing makeup. It gives you acne, man. If you don't take it off. If you don't do a perfect job, which I didn't, it gives you acne and I don't know. Maybe a little bit sometimes. I don't know. You never know. I'm working on myself still. I don't really know who I am as a 22-year-old. Every adult I hear talking says, "Oh my God, when I was 22, I was a fucking idiot." So maybe I'm a fucking idiot and I don't know anything. I mean, I definitely am an idiot and I definitely don't know much. But what I'm saying here is that maybe in 10 years I will be a lady again, publicly. Who knows? Maybe I will put on makeup every day. I don't know right now. I'm just going to do me right now. For now. I was in therapy earlier, and I looked out my window to my left, and I saw an eagle or a hawk maybe. I think it was a hawk that was in the water like a duck, right? Like bottom, like belly in the water, feet in the water, wings spread in the water, like submerged. I was like, what the hell is that fucking hawk doing? And then it started to lift up a little bit and come out of the water, and it had a bright orange fish in its feet. And I was like, oh, it's catching a fish. And then it went right back in the water. And it was in there. Just chilling, totally still for like a minute. And then it came out a little bit again, and I saw the fish, and then it went back in the water. I think it was about to lose it. And it did that like 5 times. Just watching it, and I'm in therapy. Yeah, I feel fine. Holy fuck, that bird is... Oh my God. Oh, it's back in the water. Yeah, what about anxiety? No. I was watching this thing, and then it eventually flew away, and the fish got away. Flew away, and it didn't have the fish. It was a big fish. It was like probably this big. Bright orange, and that fucking bird didn't get it. I hope the fish is okay. I hope it's probably got like talon stabs in its back, which sucks. Dude, it sucks to be a fish. People fish for you to go, oh, I found my dinner, and then all of a sudden I have a fucking giant spike of metal through my head, inside my mouth and all the way through the top of my head. Someone's gonna pull me out of my atmosphere that I can breathe in just for fun, and throw me back with a giant hole through my head. You'd think fish would have wised up by now, right? I mean, I guess we're getting wiser and wiser too, but It's wild that fish are still biting hooks. I think they would have figured it out. Maybe they just really need food, or maybe they could just like bite off the worm around the needle, the bait around the hook. I know little fish do that. And then you lose your bait, and then you're just a hook. Maybe it's like in the SpongeBob episode where they sit on the hook and they fly up and then they jump off and float back down. And they're just stupid and they're doing it. No, that's not what it is. It was a funny episode, but maybe fish just don't have good brains. Maybe they're just dumb. Like birds. No, people are still fishing. I would like to go fishing sometime, but I also feel bad for the fish, so I don't know. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't know anything, and you don't know anything. And that's kind of what this podcast is all about. Thank you guys for listening today to the Qdecent podcast. You can find me on Twitter. I would love it if somebody would follow me on Twitter, just from me saying it on this show, because I don't think it's ever happened. But I am on Twitter at Qdecent Podcast. That's QDECENT PODCAST, just like it says on the YouTube. No spaces. It might be capitals, but I don't think it's case sensitive, so check it out. I'm on TikTok, if it doesn't get banned, at Qds. That's KYOODS. And I'm on Instagram at QDecPod. That's QDECEPOD. Thanks again for listening today, you guys. I love you all, and I hope you have a beautiful day.